Have you ever dreamed of finding a lost treasure? A legend whispered through generations, promising riches beyond your wildest imagination. What if that legend was real? And what if the treasure wasn't what you expected? Our story begins with Jake Miller, a man whose skills were forged in the unforgiving crucible of military tracking. He's the kind of guy who can read the land like a book, who sees stories in broken twigs and faint footprints. One day, a dusty, forgotten relic falls into his hands. An old Spanish map, its parchment brittle with age, its ink faded but still legible. The map doesn't just show rivers and mountains. It promises a path to the legendary serpent's eye mine, a hidden gold mine that has been the stuff of campfire tales for centuries. Most people dismissed it as a myth, a fool's fantasy, but Jake sees something more. He sees a truth worth chasing, a mission this ambitious, this dangerous, is not a one-man job. Jake knows he needs a team, not just of skilled individuals, but of people he can trust when the world turns against them. His first call is to Elena Ramirez, a journalist whose fearlessness is as sharp as her wit. Elena isn't just looking for a story. She's looking for the kind of truth that shakes the foundations of history. And the Serpent's Eye is the biggest story of her career. She's tenacious, resourceful, and she can handle herself in a tight spot, making her the perfect person to document their journey and uncover the secrets the desert holds. Next to join is Sam Grizzly Jones, a retired Texas Ranger whose reputation precedes him. Grizzly is a living legend, a man who has stared down the worst of humanity and never blinked. He's got a lifetime of experience navigating the treacherous borderlands in a calm, steady presence that can soothe the most frayed nerves. He's seen his share of gold fever and knows the greed it inspires. But he joins Jake out of loyalty and a thirst for one last great adventure. With the team assembled, the tracker, the storyteller, and the lawman, the expedition is set. They pool their resources, study the cryptic map, and prepare to venture into the heart of the wild American frontier. Their journey begins under the vast, unforgiving sky of the American West. The landscape itself is a formidable adversary. They cross sprawling deserts where the sun beats down with a relentless fury, turning the air into a shimmering haze. The heat is a physical presence, draining their strength and testing their endurance with every step. Their path takes them through the skeletal remains of ghost towns, silent monuments to the boom and bust of a bygone era. These abandoned settlements are eerie and unsettling. They're empty buildings, whispering tales of dashed hopes and forgotten dreams. It's here, in the silence of the past, that the team feels the true weight of the legend they are chasing. But the natural dangers are only part of the equation. The territories they must cross are far from empty. They are the domain of ruthless smugglers, modern-day outlaws who rule the lawless lands with an iron fist. These are not the romanticized figures of old westerns. They are dangerous, violent men who guard their roots and their secrets jealously. The team's first encounter is a tense standoff at a dried-up riverbed. A group of smugglers, armed and suspicious, intercepts them. It's Grizzly's calm negotiation and Jake's tactical awareness that get them through. But the message is clear. They are intruders in a hostile land, and their every move is being watched. The journey becomes a relentless series of trials. Each day brings a new challenge, pushing them closer to their limits. The scorching desert heat is a constant threat, leading to dehydration and exhaustion. At night, the temperature plummets, and the darkness comes alive with the sounds of the wild. They have close calls with rattlesnakes coiled in the shade of rocks, and a tense encounter with a mountain lion whose territory they unknowingly crossed. These moments are a stark reminder of their vulnerability, a humbling lesson from the raw, untamed wilderness. The human element proves to be even more dangerous. The smugglers, realizing that Jake's team is not just passing through, become more aggressive. A high-speed chase across a barren salt flat ensues, with bullets kicking up dust around their vehicle. Elena captures it all on camera, her hands steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. In another instance, they are forced to navigate a narrow canyon pass, only to find it ambushed. It's Jake's military training that saves them. He orchestrates a brilliant strategic retreat, using the terrain to their advantage and outsmarting their pursuers. These constant threats begin to take a toll. Tensions rise within the group. Doubts creep in. Is the gold worth their lives? Elena questions the morality of their quest, while Grizzly worries about the escalating violence. It is in these moments of friction that their bond is truly tested. They argue, they disagree, but ultimately, they find a way to trust one another. Jake's quiet leadership, Elena's unwavering pursuit of the truth, and Grizzly's steady wisdom forge them into something more than a team. They become a family, bound by shared danger and a common goal. They realize that their greatest weapon isn't a gun or a map, but the trust they have in each other. Each challenge they overcome strengthens their resolve. And with every mile they conquer, they grow more determined to see this through to the end. After weeks of grueling travel, after surviving ambushes, evading predators, and conquering the unforgiving landscape, they finally arrive. The climax of their journey is not marked by a grand monument, but by a subtle clue on Jake's map, lining up with a unique rock formation aspire that looks like a serpent's fang piercing the sky. Below it, hidden by overgrown brush and a cunningly disguised rockfall, is a dark opening, the entrance to the lost serpent's eye mine. The air is thick with anticipation and a touch of fear. They've made it. They stand at the threshold of a legend, the culmination of all their struggle and sacrifice. Taking a deep breath, they light their torches and step out of the sunlight into the cool, silent darkness of the earth. The inside of the mine is a labyrinth of tunnels, dark and echoing with the drip of water. The air is stale, filled with the dust of centuries. Torchlight flickers across wooden support beams, remarkably preserved, and abandoned tools, pickaxes and shovels, left as if their owners would return at any moment. The walls glitter, but it's not the gleam of gold. It's quartz and mica, a fool's gold that has tricked countless prospectors. Disappointment begins to set in. Have they risked everything for nothing? Was the legend just a cruel joke? But Jake, ever the tracker, notices something is off. He sees patterns in the tunnels that don't make sense for a gold mine. They are too precise, too deliberate. Following his instincts, he leads them deeper into a vast central chamber, and it is there that they find the truth. The chamber isn't a mine, it's a vault, and it's not filled with gold. Instead, lining the walls are shelves upon shelves of ancient codices, scrolls, and artifacts, a hidden library of a lost Native American civilization. This wasn't a mine for gold. It was a mine for knowledge, a repository of history, science, and culture that historians believed was lost forever. The serpent's eye wasn't about mineral wealth. It was about the wisdom of a people. The shock of their discovery is immense. This treasure is infinitely more valuable than gold, but it's also far more dangerous. Releasing this knowledge to the world could rewrite history, but it would also make them targets for those who would exploit it or see it destroyed. The revelation changes everything. Their quest for riches has led them to a profound responsibility. As they stand in the torchlit chamber, surrounded by the silent history of a lost world, they understand the true nature of their adventure. The story was never just about finding a treasure. It was about the journey, the risks they took, and the bonds they forged. It was about the freedom of the chase and understanding the true price of greed. The gold they sought was a fantasy, but the truth they found was real, and it would change their lives and possibly the world forever. If you love stories of adventure and mystery, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video.